They lied and stole and smoked cigars, even the girls. And they talked dirty and hit little kids and cussed their teachers and took the name of the Lord in vain. And they set fire to Fred Shoemaker's old broken-down tool house.
And that's not all. Somebody sent 5 dozen donuts for the firemen, while the Herdmans ate them all. Well, and what they couldn't eat, they stuffed in their pockets and down the front of their shirts.
And there was this really, really dirty word on the back of Naomi Waddle's favorite turtle. So now Naomi can't take it to the YMCA pet show. Her mother won't let her.
What was the word?
Oh, and they did it with fluorescent paint. So when you can't see the turtle, you can still see the word.
And they put a whole bunch of tadpoles in the school drinking fountain. And Miss Barnes swallowed 2 or 3 by mistake. Somebody yelled, "Mildred, stop! You're drinking tadpoles!" But it was too late.
Did she get sick?
Well, not right away.
And that's not all. Now I'm going to tell you about the Christmas pageant and what the Herdmans did to that. There were 6 of them. Ralph, Emma Jean and Claude, Leroy and Ollie, and Gladys. They went through the Woodrow Wilson School like those South American fish that strip your bones clean. And they went around town the same way. Stealing things, tearing things up, whamming kids. So it was hard to get away from them. There was only one safe place. Sweet hour of prayer, sweet hour of prayer, because there are no Herdmans there. But Jesus loves us, as they say, because he keeps them miles away. That's my little brother, Charlie. That's what he said when the Sunday school teacher asked him what his favorite thing was about church. He said, no Herdmans. That made the teacher mad because all the other kids said nice things about God and Jesus and good feelings. But old Charlie told him the real truth. No Herdmans. But everybody else said that's what they really thought. All that other stuff was okay, but the main good thing about church is that the Herdmans aren't there. Ever.
Not a very Christian sentiment, it seems to me.
Well, it's a very practical sentiment. Charlie was black and blue all last year because he had to sit next to Leroy Herdman at school.
Is that the worst one, Leroy?
They're all the worst ones. Ralph's the biggest, so if Ralph gets you. That doesn't make any difference. Gladys is big, but she's fat, and she's mean, and she's bright.
I'm sorry I asked. Just stay away from all of them.
That's what I said. Stay away from them. Go to church.
I'm glad to hear you feel that way.
Why?
No arguments this year about the Christmas pageant.
I don't want to be a shepherd again.
Well, tell Mrs. Armstrong you want to be a wise man.
I don't want to be in it.
Everybody's in it. Well, think how I'd feel sitting there on Christmas Eve if my own children weren't in the pageant. And think how your father would feel. You'd feel terrible, wouldn't you, Bob?
Well,
wouldn't you?
Actually, I hadn't planned on going. You know how crowded it always is. They could use my seat. I'll just stay at home, put on my robe, relax. There's never anything different about the Christmas pageant.
There's going to be something different this year.
What?
Charlie's going to wear your bathrobe.
You just thought that up, Grace.
Why don't you be Joseph? Elmer Hopkins will pay you $1. He's sick of being Joseph all the time just because his father's the minister. Nobody wants to be Joseph. Nobody wants to be in it.
What are you going to be this year?
I'm always in the angel choir.
Well, why can't Charlie be in the angel choir?
Because I can't sing.
Well, from what I've heard in the past, that's not a serious drawback. Way in the manger always sounded like a closet full of mice to me.
What do you wear in the angel choir? Bed sheets. Oh boy, some choice of bathrobe or a bed sheet. Come on, let's go watch TV.
You know, Mrs. Armstrong works very hard to give everyone a lovely experience.
Oh, Mom, Mrs. Armstrong just likes to run things.
You know, they're right, of course. Well, she directs the pageant, and she runs the potluck supper, and is chairman of the bazaar. Why, I think Helen Armstrong would preach the sermon if someone would let her.
Is that George Armstrong's wife?
Yeah.
Well, maybe she'll try to manage the hospital because that's where she is. I ran into George at the drugstore. He said his wife broke her leg this morning. She'll be in traction for 2 weeks and laid up to the first of the year.
The first of the year? Why, they'll have to cancel Christmas.
She's in charge of Christmas.
Well, she's in charge of the pageant, and she's in charge of the bazaar. I feel sorry for Helen, but who's going to do all those things?
I'll do the bazaar, Edna, if you can take over the potluck supper. I don't know what in the world we are going to do about the Christmas pageant. What about Grace?
Oh, I just can't, Edna. I've got company all Christmas week. How about Grace?
Hello, Grace.
Bob?
What?
I have to direct the Christmas pageant.
Does that mean I have to go?
Our pageant isn't what you call four-star entertainment. Mrs. Armstrong breaking her leg was the only unexpected thing that ever happened to it. It was always the same old Christmas story, and the same old carols, and the same old Mary and Joseph. That's what my mother was stuck with. That and Mrs. Armstrong.
Tell you again, Grace, how important it is to give everyone a chance. Here's what I do. I always start with Mary, and I tell them that we must choose our Mary carefully because Mary was, after all, the mother of Jesus.
I know that, Helen.
Yes, and then I tell them about Joseph and that he was God's choice to be Jesus' father. That's how I explain
I
that.
thought Mrs. Armstrong was
I
in
don't ever
traction.
spend much
How
time
can she
on
talk
Joseph.
on the phone if she's in
All
traction?
down the heart.
What do you think
All
traction
about
is?
Mary
Like
and
when they
Joseph.
put you to sleep.
But I don't
No such luck.
shepherds and how
If we ever do get to eat, we're going to need a table
They
set.
are.
Would you take care of that, please?
And I tell them there are no small parts, only small actors.
Is anyone here hungry?
I'm the angel choir.
I'm hungry. Leroy heard and stole my lunch again.
How can you let him do that to you day after day?
How can I stop it? Where's the chicken?
Where's the chicken, Grace?
Hope you don't
Still in
have
the
too many
oven.
babies.
I'll get it.
They'll be your biggest problem. Now, you'll have to get someone to push the baby angels on, otherwise they get in each other's way and bend their wings. Bob could do that, and he could keep an eye on the shepherds, too. Oh, another thing about the angel choir, don't let them wear lipstick. They think that just because it's a play, that they have...
There's someone at my door.
That-
I've got to go.
that they have to wear lipstick, and it looks terrible, so tell them
Someone
not...
at my door, Helen. I'll talk to you later.
Where?
Yes, I'm coming. Oh, for heaven's sakes, it's you.
Lady, could you give me some supper? I haven't had a square meal in 3 days. Well, I was getting lonely.
Well, I suppose Helen's lonely at the hospital.
Not as long as the telephones are working.
I bet she told you about no small parts, only small actors. Let's go eat. Yeah, and getting someone to shove the baby angels on, and getting the shepherds to shut up.
Yes, she suggested your father.
Does that mean I have to go?
And Grace, don't use just anybody's baby for Jesus. And get a quiet one. Or, better yet, get 2 if you can. That way, if one turns up to be fussy, you can always switch them.
My mother didn't pay much attention to Mrs. Armstrong. She said that Mrs. Armstrong was stuck in the hospital with nothing to do but think up problems. And there weren't going to be any problems. Of course, my mother didn't count on the Herdmans. That was Charlie's fault. Hey, Leroy! Give me back my lunch!
Sure, kid, here.
You stole my dessert again!
How do
2 Twinkies?
That's right, that's what it was.
Hey, Leroy, you think it's so great to steal my dessert every day? And you know what? I don't care if you steal my desserts. I'll even give you my desserts. I get all the desserts I want in Sunday school.
Oh yeah, what kind of dessert?
All kinds. Chocolate cake, candy bars, and cookies, and Twinkies, and Big Wheels. We get refreshments all the time. All we want.
You're a liar.
And ice cream, and donuts, and cupcakes, and...
Who gives it to you?
The minister.
Why, is he crazy?
No, I think he's rich.
Sunday school, huh? Hey, Ralph, listen to that!
That was the wrong thing to tell the Herdmans. And sure enough, the very next Sunday, there they were in Sunday school, just in time to hear about the Christmas pageant.
Hey, what's a pageant? It's like a play. Like on TV, what's it about? It's about Jesus. Everything here is. And it's about Mary. Well, mostly it's about Mary. Who's Mary? I am. Well, probably I am. I know the part.
Come on, Beth. Charlie, you and David, come. All right, kids, everybody sit up and settle down. Now, this won't take very long if we all settle down. Today we're going to decide who will play the main roles in our Christmas pageant. But, of course, everyone will have an important part to play. You know what Mrs. Armstrong always tells you? There are no small parts, only small actors. Isn't that what she always says?
That's what she always says, but she never says what it means.
Well, don't you know what it means?
I know what it means. It means the short kids have to be in front row so nobody will be able to see them.
Well, not exactly. It really means that the littlest baby angel is just as important as Mary.
I don't think anyone's as important as Mary.
Well, naturally, that's what you think, Alice. I think Jesus is more important.
I still think it means the short kids have to be in front.
Everyone is important. Mary, Jesus, and the short kids. Now, is everyone here? Beverly, will you just step out in the hall and see if anyone else is coming? Now, the little children will be our angels, so please remind your mothers that you'll need to have bed sheets. And children in the angel choir, now what's the matter? Oh, well, let's just make some room here for the, sit back down. Just scoot over and make some room for the herdman. Where's Beverly?
I think she went home. I think she got sick.
Did she say she was sick?
No, she just left. All I did was I just said, "Hi, Beverly," and she just left.
I see. Well, will somebody please tell Beverly about the rehearsals the next 4 Sundays after church and plan to be here for everyone.
What if we get sick?
You won't get sick. Of course, Mary and Joseph must absolutely come to every rehearsal.
What if they get sick?
They won't get sick either, Elmer.
Well, Beverly got sick, and we didn't even start yet.
We don't know that Beverly got sick. Oh, Beverly, are you okay? Here, come sit over here. All right, now, I want you to all think about Mary. We all know what kind of a person Mary was. She was quiet and gentle and kind. And the girl who plays Mary ought to try to be that kind of person. Now, who would like to volunteer for that part? Yes, Imogene, did you have a question?
No, I want to be Mary. And Ralph over there, he wants to be Joseph.
Well,
Yeah, we would.
I'll just make a list of the volunteers, and then we'll decide who it should be. Ralph Herdman. Now, who else can I put on my list? Who else would like to volunteer? Elmer, did you want to raise your hand?
No.
Any of you shepherds? Just raise your hands, please. Any volunteers? Very well. Ralph Herdman will be our Joseph. And Imogene has volunteered to be Mary. Who else would like to volunteer? Beth? Maxine? Alice, don't you want to volunteer?
No, I don't want to. I'll be Mary. Shut up, Gladys. I'm already married. You be a wise man.
Well, the wise men usually are boys, but they don't.
I'll be a wise man. Me too. Claude, you want to be a wise man? Raise your hand. What's a wise man?
Just raise your hand.
What's left to be? Mommy. I'll be that. What is it?
It's the angel of the Lord who brings the good news to the shepherds. Oh, there, we do have some volunteers after all. Yes, Colby, did you want to be a wise man?
No, I just want to say I can't be a shepherd. We're going to Philadelphia.
Well, why didn't you say so before?
I just remembered. My mother won't let me be a shepherd.
Why not?
I don't know. She said, don't be a shepherd. I'm not going to be a shepherd.
Oh, yes, you are. What's the matter with all of you?
I'm not going to be a shepherd. Gladys Herdman hits too hard.
Why, Gladys isn't going to hit anybody. The angel of the Lord just visits the shepherds and tells them Jesus is born.
And hits them.
That's ridiculous, Elmer. And I don't want to hear another word about it from anyone. No shepherds may quit or get sick. I think that's enough for today, boys and girls. You can go home. But be sure to be here next Sunday after church. Alice, what's wrong with you? Why didn't you raise your hand?
I don't know.
You don't know? Alice, I expected you to volunteer. Well, don't you want to be married?
Mrs. Bradley! Oh, come on, Alice. I don't know. I just couldn't raise my hand. Imogene would have killed me. She said, I'm going to be married in this play. And if you open your mouth or raise your hand, you'll wish you didn't. And I said, I'm always married in the Christmas pageant. And she said, go ahead then. And next spring when the pussy willows come out, I'll stick one so far down your ear that nobody can reach it. And it will grow and grow. And you'll spend the rest of your life with a pussy willow bush growing out of your ear. Now you know she wouldn't do that. She would too. The Herdmans will do anything. You just watch. They'll do something terrible and ruin the whole pageant. And be all your mother's fault. Come on, Maxine.
Jane, Edna McCarthy, did you hear about the Christmas? Well, it must be Grace's fault somehow. I mean, how else would the 6 of them end up in the Christmas pageant when they ought to be in jail?
Vera Irma Slocum, I just heard that Imogene Herdman is going to be Mary in the Christmas pageant, and all 6 of them?
Well, I live next door to that outfit, and I'd rather live next door to the zoo. Has Grace gone crazy?
Where did they come from? Who let them in? Imogene Herdman? What kind of child is that to play Mary, the mother of Jesus? And where was Reverend Hopkins, I'd like to know? He was what? Visiting shut-ins. Well, I'm a shut-in, and he wasn't visiting me.
I said, why don't you let them hand out programs at the door? Grace said we've never had programs for the pageant, but I
Better
said...
nail down the church and lock up the silver service and hide all the collection plates before they clean them out.
What was the matter with Grace? Couldn't she have sent them away? Tell them to go home? Oh, I feel responsible. If I'd been up and around, this never would have happened.
If I'd been up and around, this never would have happened. Well, let me tell you.
Don't tell me, Grace. I'm on your side.
Helen Armstrong is not the only person alive who can run a Christmas pageant. Well, I'd made up my mind just to do the best I could under the circumstances. But now I'm going to make this the best Christmas pageant ever. And I'm going to do it with the Herdmans. After all, they raised their hands and nobody else did.
Good for you, Grace.
And you're going to help
me.
You have to go. The inn is back here off stage, and then the shepherds come in and gather around the manger.
Where'd all the shepherds come from anyway? What's an inn? It's like a motel where people go to spend the night. What people? Jesus? Oh, honestly, Jesus wasn't even born yet. Mary and Joseph went there. Why? Pay their taxes at a motel. Shut up, Ollie. Everybody just shut up. I want to hear. Begin at the beginning.
The beginning?
The beginning of the play. What happens first?
Imogene, this is the Christmas story from the Bible. Well, haven't you ever heard the Christmas story from the Bible? Well, that's what this is, so I'd better read it to you.
I don't believe that, do you? That they never heard the Christmas story?
Well, why not? They don't even know what a Bible is. And they never went to church in their whole life till your young brother told them we got refreshments. And now we have to waste all this time for nothing.
All right, now. There went out a decree from Caesar Augustus that all the world should be taxed. And Joseph went up from Galilee with Mary, his wife, being great with child.
Pregnant! She was pregnant.
All right, now, we all know that Mary was pregnant.
I don't think it was very nice to say Mary was pregnant.
Well, she was.
I don't think your mother should say Mary was pregnant. It's better to say great with child. Well, I'm not supposed to talk about people being pregnant, especially in church.
You mean they didn't even have room for Jesus?
Well, nobody knew the baby was going to be Jesus.
Didn't they know? Didn't Joseph know? What was the matter with him? He didn't tell him. Her pregnant and everything.
What's a manger? Some kind of bed?
Well, they didn't have a bed in the barn, so Mary had to use whatever there was. What would you do if you had a new baby and no bed to put the baby in?
We put Gladys in a bureau drawer.
Well, there you are. You didn't have a bed for Gladys, so you had to use something else.
Oh, we had a bed. Only Ollie was so in it wouldn't get out. He didn't like Gladys. Remember how he didn't like Gladys?
That was pretty smart of Ollie. Not to like Gladys right off the bat.
Anyway, a manger is a large wooden feeding trough for animals.
What were the wadded up clothes?
The what?
It said in there she wrapped them up in wadded up clothes.
Oh, swaddling clothes. Well, people used to wrap babies up very tightly in big pieces of material to make them feel cozy.
You mean they tied him up and put him in a feed box? Where was the child welfare? The child welfare's at our house every 5 minutes.
There wasn't any child welfare in Bethlehem.
I'll say there wasn't.
And there were shepherds keeping watch over their flocks by night. And lo, the angel of the Lord came upon them, and the glory of the Lord shone.
Shut down!
What?
Out of the black night with a horrible vengeance, with a mighty
Gladys,
marvel.
I don't know what you're talking about, Gladys.
The mighty marvel, an amazing comet. Out of the black night with a horrible
Gladys, this is the angel of the Lord who brings the good news to the shepherds.
Out of nowhere, right? In the black night, right?
Well, in a way.
Shut down!
Now, when Jesus was born, there came wise men from the east, bearing gifts of gold and frankincense.
What's that?
And myrrh.
What's that?
Well, they were special things, spices and precious oils.
Oils? What kind of presents are oils? We get better presents from the child welfare.
Were they the welfare? The wise men?
They were kings, and they were sent
Well,
by...
it's about time somebody important showed up. If they're kings, they can get the baby out of the barn and tell the innkeeper where to get off.
They were sent by Herod. They were sent by Herod, who was, well, he was the main king, and he wanted to find Jesus and have him put to death.
You mean they're gonna kill a baby? He was just born!
Who's Herod in this play?
Herod isn't in the play.
He's out to kill a baby and he isn't even in the play?
Well, somebody better be Herod. Let Charlie be Herod. And he says, go get me that baby, and they say okay because he's the
off. They don't do it. They go back and get Herod. I'm not going to be Herod.
No one is going to be Herod.
No, Joseph gets the chefs together and they go wipe out Herod. Yeah. They're going to win. And it's going to be me. And I'll get killed.
Forget about Herod. There's no Herod.
And I ran away with the baby till the fight's over.
The innkeeper. Gladys, you wiped out the innkeeper.
I can't. I'm an angel.
Oh, Gladys, you will try to remember that, won't you? That's enough for today, boys and girls. Let's go.
Well, I wouldn't just hang around out in the barn. I'd go get a room. Since it wasn't in. Then I'd throw somebody out. I'd tell them I've got this baby in the middle of winter, so either get out and move over.
I'd go after old Herod.
I'd send an angel after him, and she could just point her magic finger and turn him into a pile of ashes. Yeah, that. What's the name of this place? She never said. Christmas Pageant. That's no name. That's what it is. I know a name. I know a name. I call it Revenge at Bethlehem. Revenge at Bethlehem. The Herdman thought the Christmas story came right out of the FBI files. At least they picked the right villain. It was Herod they wanted to gang up on, not the baby Jesus. The baby Jesus quit the pageant anyways. It was supposed to be Eugene Slocum. But Mrs. Slocum said she wasn't going to let Imogene Herdman get her hands on him. So we didn't have a baby Jesus. And that bothered my mother. She kept on trying to scratch up a baby, even at the last rehearsal. What do you keep writing in that book? It's like a diary. It is not. It's all about the Herdmans. Imogene curses and swears all the time. Ralph talks about sexy things. Mrs. Bradley called Mary pregnant. Gladys Herdman drinks communion wine. It isn't wine, it's grape juice. I don't care what it is. She drinks it. Oh, I've seen her 3 times with her mouth all purple. They steal too. If you shake the birthday bank, it doesn't make a sound because they stole all the pennies out of it. I mean, you walk into the ladies' room, the whole air is blue, and there's Imogene Herdman sitting there in Mary costume, smoking cigars. And you wrote all this down? What for? For my mother, Reverend Hopkins, the Ladies' Aid Society, and anybody else who wants to know what happened when the whole Christmas pageant turned out to be a big mess.
All right, boys and girls, everybody sit up. Alice, please go sit by Beth. Now, hurry quickly. This is our last rehearsal, so we...
Grace, I just wanted to tell you that we're out back in the kitchen making applesauce cake. We'll try not to bother you. I guess this is your dress rehearsal.
Well, it's supposed to be. Oh, Edna, didn't I hear that your niece had a little baby a month or so ago?
Oh, yes, she's 5 weeks
Well,
old.
I wonder how it would be if I were to call her and see if we could borrow her
Oh,
baby.
Grace, no. Oh, Grace, no, I could make up some lie and say that the baby's sick or cranky or something. But the truth is that she's perfectly healthy and happy and beautiful. And we all want her to stay that way. So we're certainly not going to turn her over to the likes of Imogene Herdman. I'm sorry, Grace.
Mrs. Bradley, you can have my little brother for Jesus.
Oh, David, I didn't know you had a new baby.
I know, he's 4 years old, but he's double-jointed. He could probably scrunch up.
I don't think
I can get us a baby.
How can you do that?
There's always 2 or 3 babies in carriages outside the supermarket. I'll get one of them.
Imogene, you can't just walk off with somebody else's baby. Oh, we'll forget about the baby. We'll just have to use a doll.
I guess a doll's better. At least a doll can't bite you.
And, Imogene, you know, Mary didn't wear earrings.
I have to wear Marty! I just got my ears pierced, and if I don't keep something in them, they'll grow together.
Well, they won't grow together in an hour and a half. What did your doctor tell you to do?
What doctor?
Well, who pierced your ear?
Gladys. I bet she did with an ice pick. And I bet Imogene's ears turned black and fall off.
Well, we'll just have to find something smaller. Now, is that your costume? Is that what you're going to wear? You're all supposed to be in your costumes today.
I can't find my halo. My wings got open. Janet's got my robe. My mother doesn't have any white sheets. Can I wear a sheet with balloons on it? I don't have a costume. I haven't been a shepherd before. You have to wear your father's bathrobe. That's what I have to do. My father doesn't have a bathrobe. What does he hang around the house in? His underwear.
All right, just pretend like you're wearing your costume.
Are we going through the whole thing?
Of course we are.
Oh.
But first we're just going to practice the entrances. So everybody take your places and we'll start with the shepherds. And please take off the benches. Hurry quickly. And just read the last few lines, Maxine. Hurry up. Just the last few lines.
Shepherds keeping watch over their flocks by night.
Music. Shepherds.
And an angel of the Lord appears to them.
Shut down! No, Gladys!
Out of the black night with a horrible thing.
No! Go on, Maxine.
A multitude of the heavenly hosts.
Music. Angels. Music. Wise men.
I've got the baby here. Don't touch it. I name him Jesus.
You don't say anything. No one says anything. Mary and Joseph just said to make a lovely picture for us to think about Jesus and Christmas and what it means. Now put the doll back.
I don't get to say anything. Some angel tells me what to name the baby. When I would have named him Bill. Oh, what a horrible thing to say.
What angel is that? There are angels all over the place. Is that Gladys?
No, Gladys brings the good news to the shepherds.
Yeah! Unto you a child is born. Unto me, not them. I'm the one who has the baby.
No, that just means that Jesus belongs to everyone. Unto all of us a child is born.
Why didn't they let Mary name her own baby? What did the angel do? Just walk up and say, name him Jesus?
Yes.
I know what the angel said. She said his name should be called Wonderful, Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. My heck! That kid would never get out of first grade if he had to write all that. I'm going home. This is graduation. I start over again.
5 minutes, Maxine. 5 minutes, everybody.
We never did start over, and we never did go through the whole thing. The 5 minutes turned into 15 minutes, and Emma Jean Herdman spent the whole time smoking cigars in the ladies' room. Then Mrs. McCarthy went to the ladies' room and saw all the smoke and called the fire department, and they came right away.
Smoke? Smoke? Fire! The church is on
They cleared everyone out of the building and drug a fire hose through the church looking for a fire to put out. But the only fire they found was in the kitchen. All the applesauce cakes had burned up. Of course, all the ladies were mad about that, and Mrs. McCarthy was mad, and my mother was mad.
Well, why in the world did you call the fire department about a little smoke?
It was a lot of smoke. The ladies' room was full of thick smoke.
It couldn't have been. You just got excited.
No.
And now look, the church is full of firemen, and the streets are full of baby angels crying, and shepherds climbing all over the fire truck, and over half the neighborhood. Well, didn't you know it was cigar smoke?
Well, no, I didn't know it was cigar smoke. I don't expect to come to the church with fire
Grace, I don't know what to think. I've been on the telephone all day, and I can't make heads or tails of it. Some people say they set fire to the ladies' room. Some people say they set fire to the kitchen. Vera Wilkins says all they do is talk about sex and underwear.
That was Colby Clark talking about underwear. And they didn't set fire to anything. The only fire was in the kitchen where the applesauce cake burned up.
The whole church is in an uproar. I don't know. Jesus said, "Suffer the little children to come unto me." But I'm not sure he was talking about the herdmen. Grace, don't you think we should cancel the pageant?
Oh, I'll bet that was Helen Armstrong's idea.
We can blame it on the fire. It makes a good excuse.
And I'll bet that was Edna McCarthy's idea.
But everyone seems to think it's going to be
A disaster? Oh, well, they're wrong. It's going to be the best Christmas pageant we've ever had.
Grace, I don't think anyone's going to come to see it.
I didn't think so either, and neither did Charlie. But we were wrong. On Christmas Eve, the church was jammed full. Everybody came to see what the Herdmans would do.
Wait till I turn the lights on. Now watch your step.
I can't even see where I'm going. I don't know what in the world you expect to do with this thing.
Well, I thought it might look like a palm tree. I can see now that it doesn't. Oh, I don't know what we're going to do tonight. We've never once gone through the whole thing, and the Herdmans still think it's some kind of a spy story. This may be the first Christmas pageant in history where Joseph and the wise men get in a fight and Mary runs off with the baby. Well, where are the kids?
All the kids in the world are downstairs putting on bed sheets.
I mean, our kids.
We're here.
Well, go get your costumes on. It's getting late.
It's just going to be awful, you know. They look like trick or treat, all dirty and fastened together with safety pins and wearing their moldy old sneakers. Mary and Joseph, I mean. They look like refugees or something.
Well, that's what they were, Mary and Joseph. They were refugees in a way. They were a long way from home. They didn't know anybody, didn't have a place to stay. Probably very cold and hungry and tired and messy.
I don't know about cold and hungry, but they're sure messy.
Oh, do you think I should go?
I think you worry too much. Now, I'm going to be handing out shepherd's crooks, and then I'm going to be pushing wise men onto the stage. When do I do all that?
Oh, here, just follow the script.
Baby angels, shepherds, wise men. It doesn't seem to say here where the fire engine's coming.
Oh, you...
It's really...
All right, kids, everybody hurry up and get in a circle. I want to see how you look. Gladys, where's your halo?
Our cat buried it. Listen, I think I ought to say something besides the baby came. Why would they all get up and tear after some baby they don't even know? I ought to tell them it's Jesus, and I ought to tell them where he is.
No, Gladys, you say, unto you a child is born, and that's all you tell them. Now, let's all go backstage and be quiet while people are coming, and good luck.
Mrs. Bradley, actors don't say good luck, they say break a leg.
Break a leg! If you don't know what break a leg means, it's just a theatrical saying. It doesn't really mean to break yours or anybody else's leg. Now, go backstage. And Imogene? Try to remember that that's a baby. And for tonight, anyway, it's the baby Jesus.
justice, a decree went out that all the world should be taxed. And Joseph went into Bethlehem with Mary his wife, being grave with a child. And while they were there, she brought forth her firstborn son, and wrapped him in swaddling clothes, and laid him in a manger, for there is no room for them in the inn.
Irma, that was the best Christmas pageant we've ever had. And I'm not sure why, but I think it was them. Could that be?
Oh, I always get weepy about the pageant, the children and the carols and everything. But you're right. This was the very best one, and it should have been the worst.
There was something different.
Well, the angel of the Lord certainly was different.
Oh, but you know, I like that. She had lots of spirit. Sometimes you can't even hear the angel of the Lord. I better find Grace and tell her, excuse me.
You know, I wish now that I let them use Eugene to be the baby Jesus.
Well, who was the baby Jesus?
Well, it was a doll.
Oh, that was no doll.
Well, it did seem real.
It did seem real, as if it might have happened just that way. We all thought the pageant was about Jesus, but that was only part of it. It was about his new baby and his mother and father, who were in a whole lot of trouble. No money, no place to go, no doctor, nobody they knew, and then, arriving from the east, like my uncle from New Jersey, some rich friends. Because of the Herdmans, Christmas had a whole new meaning. Imogen burping the baby, and the wise men bringing such sensible presents. After all, you couldn't eat frankincense. And even Gladys. He's in the barn, go see him. So the shepherds didn't have to roam all over the countryside. But I guess it wasn't like that for Imogen. For her, Christmas was all a story of wonder and mystery. Because of the Herdmans, Christmas... After the pageant, we had a party in the basement. But the Herdmans didn't stay. They didn't have any hot cocoa. They didn't walk off with all their cookies. And they wouldn't even take their candy canes.
I guess that's about it. Are there any kids left downstairs?
No, they've all gone home. You know, you have your bathrobe on. You're not going to wear it, are you?
Sure, why not? Maybe people will think I was a shepherd. I wouldn't mind being taken for a shepherd in this Christmas pageant.
Oh, yes, you would. When it was over, some lady came up and hugged me because I was a shepherd. Should I bring this ham?
It's the Herdman's ham, but they wouldn't take it back. Leroy said it's a present. You don't take back a present.
Leroy said that. They must hate ham.
You and Alice Wendelkin.
What about the lights?
Oh, they're on a timer. They go off at midnight.
Well, that's not very far away. It's almost Christmas.
It's almost Christmas, kids.